Tributes pouring in for Hollywood icon Debbie Reynolds, who passed away yesterday, just one day after her daughter, Carrie Fisher. Reynolds was 84. Her son, Todd Fisher, issuing a statement to confirm her death, talking about how she was missing Carrie, ending by saying, quote, "She's with Carrie now." Well, just the circumstances alone had a lot of people saying that clearly Reynolds had died of a broken heart. Actor Anthony Banderas tweeting this tender photo of the mother-daughter duo and writing, "You can die for love. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. You marvelous stars. I hope you are shining together from heaven." Joining us now, clinical psychotherapist Robi Ludwig. So, Robi, when we look at this, we hear people, people who knew them, people who didn't, coming out and saying, well, clearly she must have died of a broken heart.
Yes.
Is it possible?
It's absolutely possible, and it is a condition that they've diagnosed and discovered where the stress hormones can actually overwhelm the heart and get it not to function properly. It does not always cause death, but for somebody who's older and fragile, it certainly can, and women are more vulnerable, and it usually happens within like a 48-hour period of time. So it certainly makes sense. Debbie Reynolds certainly fits, the diagnostics for this. So that was my first thought.
Yeah, was it really?
It was. It was. Yeah, I was like, they are so close.
Yeah.
And for a mother to lose a daughter, it goes against the natural order of things. We invest so much in our children. We really expect them to survive us. And when they don't, it can feel like a huge part of us is missing.
No matter when it happens.
No matter when it happens, because the mother and daughter relationship stays constant. The mother is always mothering, the daughter is always wanting the mother's approval, and as a relationship gets older between mother and daughter, it can get even closer because the daughter sees the mother more as a whole person.
Sure. I mean, you start to appreciate your parents so much more as you get older. Their relationship, like many parents and children, was not without its rough patches, was not without its rocky moments. And I found this interesting, something that Debbie Reynolds said, talking about what it must have been like growing up as her daughter. She was talking about this in 2011. I think we have that clip.
It was hard for Carrie, I think, because in school, like when she was in grammar school, the teacher kept calling Carrie Debbie. Now, yeah. Well, after a while, it's okay, because now I'm Princess Leia's mother, so I mean, everywhere I go, I'm Princess Leia's mother now.
One of the things that was remarkable, I mean, obviously there's that, sort of back and forth and how it must have been tough at different times for both of them. And yet they both were credited with being so honest and so open about their struggles. And that really touched a lot of people, I think, perhaps in ways that even their performances didn't.
Right. They had a very relatable, real relationship, and they were open about it, that they had their struggles. They got through their struggles. And we were interested in seeing how they did that because they were both such charismatic figures who knew how to talk about their difficulties in a way that made sense to everyone and perhaps even inspired many people.
The family wasn't just mother and daughter who were close, but the entire family. Todd Fisher spoke with our affiliate KABC a little bit earlier, and I want to listen to a little bit how he characterized that.
We were close friends. I mean, I was the younger brother. She drug me around the house like a doll, and whenever my mom would catch her, she'd be like, "No, that's your brother. He's real. It's not like a toy." And so we've really been close our whole lives, and it's a very strange place to be, looking at the world without her.
That's got to be so difficult for a person in Todd Fisher's position, losing his sister, losing his mother.
Yes.
Carrie Fisher's daughter, of course, is just 24 years old. She loses her mother and her grandmother in the span of barely 24 hours. How does a family grapple with that? I mean, how do you even begin to move forward?
Just like anything with the grieving process, it's one step at a time. It's not easy, but hopefully you can pull strength from the people who love you and from family who are also sharing a similar experience. And it really is just a process. And it's never easy, especially when you love important people who are no longer here.
And is it, I mean, in some ways, I'm sort of thinking of the answer in my head before I ask the question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I think in some ways it obviously depends on the person, but when it is someone who you love dearly and you know personally, and yet they are such a public figure, does that help or does it hurt the grieving process sometimes to hear all of these other people talking about your mother, your grandmother, your sister?
Yeah, well, I suppose each person is different, but hearing loving stories and hearing how people you love impacted others in a positive way, I think can only be positive.
It's a nice way to think about it. Robi Ludwig, always good to see you. Thank you.
Good to be here. Happy New Year to you too.